Alright, so this is my modified Super Nintendo board. It's modified to enable, to give you the option of playing NTSC games, American and Jap games. It does this by giving you the option of outputting at 60 Hz by pulling pin 30 of PPU 2 and pin 24 of PPU 1 to ground using a switch. And you can also disable the regional restrictions by pulling pin 4 of the lockout chip down to ground. So this is the same modification that people have been doing for years. It's just a slightly new take on things. It's a fair bit tidier, and you don't need to lift the legs of the PPU chips, which is generally considered to be the risky part of this mod, because if in lifting one of those legs you were to break it off, it would be game over for this board. You need a new one. So I'm going to show you how this is possible. I've rested this with a flashlight so we can get a good look at the tracks. Okay, so if you look at pin 30 of PPU2 here, you'll see that the Kynar wire is soldered straight to the leg and the leg isn't raised. For this to be possible, what you have to do, there's a track that runs from pin 30 underneath these side legs here. You can just see this dark strip. Well, you can just get a Stanley blade or a craft knife and just cut that connection, just disconnect it, which frees up pin 30 to be soldered directly to. Something similar can be done with PPU1. If it's 24 we're connecting to, but if you look at 26 you'll notice that the leg actually extends and then connects to this plate here. So 24 used to look just like that, so you can get a knife again, just disconnect that and you can then solder straight to the leg. A few blobs of glue there just holding the wire in place. So that's a fair bit stronger and less risky than having to raise the legs. You can't actually do that same thing on the lockout chip, just because you can't see underneath the chip, you can't see where the tracks are going, so you don't get quite a good picture of what options you've got. So best just to raise that leg, nice blob of hot glue for mechanical strength, and you're good to go. Let me just move this light out of the way. So once you've put your wires in place, definitely check everything with a multimeter. Check everything at the end when you put the switches in anyway, but these legs are obviously so fine that you want to make sure there's no solder bridging the gap. Also, once the switches are on, make sure you're getting the ground and the 5 volts in the right places. So what's happening here is we're going from pin 24 of PPU1 to pin 30 of PPU2, and then we're coming back out of pin 30, and another piece of Kynar wire is disappearing down one of these via holes. These are the perfect size to accommodate Kynar wire, so great way to tidy things up. Same thing that's happening here, just disappearing down a hole. And it emerges over here. So this is where the PPU chips are, this is where the lockout chip is. A few blobs of glue just to keep the wires in place, just to avoid the need for any tape or anything. This is the underside of where the RF box used to be, which is now, oh, just took the connector off, which is where the RF box used to be. So this is a great place to put the majority of this mod, because well, first of all, you've got a ready-made hole where the RF jack used to be, so you only have to drill one hole. And secondly, you've got these 4 points here. Now these are the points that the RF box used to connect into. To remove that, by the way, you've got one screw you remove from here, and you desolder these 4 points. The box pops right out, it's all that's holding it in place. But the great thing about these 4 points is the left one is your ground line, and the right one is your 5 volt line. So there's no need to be running wires to the voltage regulator like a lot of people do. You can localize it all here. I'm not going to explain how the actual mod works, because it's the same as every other website's explanation of it. It's just a slightly tidier version of it. So yeah, I hope this has been of interest. Obviously a pretty good thing that you don't have to lift the legs. So I hope it's been of help to someone. Thanks for listening. Bye bye.